fight with Nana with Ray Hatton. Ray, how hard was it to stage the fight then?
Sorry?
How hard was it to stage the fight with Lascano? I understand it was a bit hit and miss at certain times, searching for an opponent.
Well, all it is, it's like, this is boxing. Things that a lot of times are not very easy. People want this and people want that, but we basically agreed most of the things with Lascano weeks and weeks and weeks ago. It was just one or two of the little things that we had to just put in place. And not only that, is the biggest thing is at the moment when we were talking to Lascano and we'd basically done the deal on Lascano, we didn't have a venue. And as in boxing, money's change when they see the size of the venue. So people weren't committing themselves, even though they agreed and shook hands on the fight. They wanted to find out where it was. They roughly had a date where it was going to be, but because of the long drawn out thing that we had with Manchester City, that was the only problem why pens weren't put to paper, because Lascano's side obviously wanted to see how many were there at the venue.
Okay, no problem. I understand you're doing it in co-promoting with Frank Maloney now. I mean, you previously you've done with Frank Warren, Dennis Hobson, now Maloney. Why is that?
No, the thing is, we're not promoters. We put in for our promoter's license. We're hoping we're going to be successful. So we've basically, in this case, when we were with Frank Warren, he was Richard's manager and promoter. When we went with Dennis Hobson, him and Artie Palulu was the promoter. This is a little bit different, is because we wanted to put this show on at City. We haven't got a promoter's license, so we looked round for a promoter who had a license, who was very, very experienced in it, and we always said it'd be nice to try and work with everybody and get a perspective on everybody, and we wanted to work with Frank Maloney. So Frank Maloney basically is promoting the fight in association with us. We can't say we're promoters because we're not. We haven't got our license yet.
So let's say you do get your licence, or when you do, who would you be promoting then? Have you got local talent you're sourcing out already?
No, obviously, at this moment in time, we're basically getting a promoter's licence up and running for when Ricky finishes. It's just... this show has come, and a big show's come like this, is because this was possibly the only way that we could do it at the Manchester City Stadium if we started the ball rolling. So, the Hattons are not going to go in massive promotions week after week after week. Basically, if the right shows come that we want to put on, and the right people come, and the right boxers want to come to us, then obviously we'll consider it. Just at this moment in time, Ricky's got his own career, Matthew's got his career, but we didn't see why wait. Why wait for a licence? We might as well get the wheels in motion. Ricky's got his manager's licence, so the ideal thing then was to get a promoter's licence. So when he finishes, it's there in place, and we may have done 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 shows before it is. People's got to learn. We're not making any big that we're going to be the new kids on the block. We're going to be this. No, we just want to go into promoting and hope that we can learn about promoting and maybe do 1 or 2 things in our way that will be beneficial for the boxers. So, in the long term, this is going to be, not in the short term.
I understand you signed a deal with Golden Boy and HBO for a further 3 fights with Ricky Hatton.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Who have you got lined up for him then?
Well, obviously, if Ricky wins this fight and Paulie Malignaggi wins this fight, it's no secret that we will be probably fighting Paulie Malignaggi at the end of the year, hopefully at Madison Square Garden. If not at Madison Square Garden, we will probably fight in Las Vegas again. So it's an important fight for Ricky, this fight, and it's an important fight for Paulie, because that will be a great unification fight at the end of the year.
Okay, so this is Ricky's homecoming. Is it also his goodbye as well?
No, you can never say. Like Richard Schaefer's just said about Floyd Mayweather. I knew about this with Floyd Mayweather because we'd spoken on it. But obviously they're very, very serious that they've already approached Richard Schaefer and Golden Boy because of the success that the first fight was. So even though Richard Schaefer said that to me, it wasn't a surprise that they were going to fight again, because I only spoke to Al Heyman only a couple of weeks ago on the same thing. The surprise was that I'd heard a rumour that Floyd wouldn't mind coming over and breaking records over here by fighting obviously in 100,000 plus. The only thing I was surprised is that Richard Schaefer said something that we'd already heard about.
Okay, so is it a testament to just Ricky's support and ability that he can bring the best pound-for-pound champion of the world over to England?
I just think Floyd is one of these fighters that is up for challenges. I think he's one of these likes to break records and do different things, and I think Floyd being the sort of fight, it would appeal to him, probably maybe breaking world records on the amount of attendance for a boxing for a fight. So I just think Floyd Mayweather's up for challenges, but you just have to it's not rumours, it is fact.
Okay.
So
I mentioned it to Ricky, and he said there might be a catchweight involved if there was to be a rematch.
I don't know. Obviously, you've got to sit down, and when you start working out the pounds, shillings, and pence, it's surprising how goalposts can be moved on that. I think you've got to be realistic. You're in this game, aren't you, for the money? And I suppose if there was more money at the welterweight weight, that's what we'd do.
There was also a heavy internet talk about Hatton fighting Pacquiao at a catchweight of 137.
That is a massive rumour, yeah. That is a massive rumour. Because Manny Pacquiao is coming up, I believe, for his next fight.
Bob Arum did mention it a few times that he wanted Pacquiao to fight Hatton.
Yeah, well, that is a massive, massive fight when you think the Philippines and all the rest of it and things like that. You know what I mean?
Okay,